Hello everybody, Demon Red Mist here, and as the title says, this is a bit of a sort of hot lap tips. Basically, this video is mainly for the Dynamic GT League drivers. There's a bit of a guide for them. I'm just trying to get the link to my own video so I can send it to them. Now, what I'm going to try and show here is a way to drive the track. I'm actually going to start off with a couple of tips on how not to drive the track. There's 2 or 3 key points around this circuit that if you don't follow, you will, well, basically you'll cause carnage, and that is the #1 thing to try and avoid. So try and avoid carnage, but also how to get a good lap around this track, because it's an interesting circuit this, and it's one that you don't necessarily benefit from by pushing too hard. So really you have to be smooth around this track, and one of the things that you want to do, I found the link, bear with me a second folks. Yeah, one of the things that you want to do is be smooth around this circuit. The harder you push, the slower you'll go. So that's what I'm going to try and sort of show here. Now, I am in the Jaguar F-Type in the Group 4 class. Now I'm on the soft compound tyres because that's just what I drive on. If I was going for out and out pace, I would go on the super soft tyre, but to be honest, I only use those for qualifying. I don't use them in the races, and I would recommend to the DGT League drivers use the soft tyres. They last longer. Now I'm in time trial here, which hasn't got balance of performance on, but what I've done is I've been to an online lobby, gone to the track with balance of performance on, seen what power and weight it'll offer me, and then I've come to time trial and applied that onto the car. So I've upped the weight of the Jaguar. Okay, so let's get out on track. Now what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to show you a couple of things of what not to do, and this is mainly to do with turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, maybe 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 as well, but it's mainly for turn 1, 2 and 3, and it's about the braking point. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. Now I'm not going to go absolutely flat out straight away, but also this isn't the car I'm going to be using in the DGT League race around this track this week. Okay, so I'm not going to push dead hard to begin with, but basically turn 1 and 2, the 100-metre marker board, and I will point them out, is your final possibility of a braking point. It's coming up now, 100 metres. If I go past it, I'm not quite making the corner. Now I might be able to make the corner, but my mid-corner speed is going to be so slow I'm going to lose time. So there is no point in braking late. And it's the same for turn 2, the 100-metre marker board. There's the 200, the 150, the 100. If I go past it, I'm not making the corner. Now if I was at the start of a race and there's any cars in front of me, I've just wiped them out, and that's just from braking after the 100-metre marker board. In all honesty, the 100-metre marker board is your point of no return. You have to be on the brakes before that. If you're not, you ain't making the corners. You're just going to cause carnage. So make sure you brake before the 100-metre marker board. Now these corners are interesting. Don't try braking late or pushing hard through the corners. It won't work. You'll just go wide. And it's the same for these two. You want to be off the throttle so that it can get turned in, and then you can get back on the power. This should not be a difficult corner. If it is, you're probably going in too fast. Same for the last 2 corners. Be smooth here. On the brakes early, down a couple of gears, clip the curb, and if possible take this final corner in 4th gear smoothly. That will be faster than attacking it. Right, I'm going to try and attack it a bit knobheadish, so braking way too late, but I'm going to try and pick my speed up. So I'm going to go beyond the 100. You see, I'm just not making it. And this is a line you'll see people using online. That is not part of the racetrack. Yeah, so obviously I'm showing you how not to do it here, but I will show you how to do it shortly. I'm going to go beyond the 100. And nowhere near making the corner. Would have wiped everybody out. Now, okay, the brakes are different from car to car, but every car, you have to be on the brakes before the 100, otherwise you're not making the corner. This turn, don't brake at the bridge, brake before. To be honest, there's a dark patch on the tarmac. That's what I tend to use as my braking point. If you brake later or at the bridge, you're not making the corner, you're braking too late. Now this corner, ideally you should be on that apex curb on the left hand side. Don't be afraid of using a bit of the service road, and again, get it tucked into the apex before you try getting fully on the power again. Now this may not seem very fast at the moment, but I'm just getting the rhythm going and staying on the track comfortably, 4th gear, not thrashing the revs or anything like that. Okay, now I'm going to put the sector times on and try and drive it properly and see how much we gain. I can see the car in my mirror. So just by braking a little bit earlier, comfortably make the corner at a faster speed, and that is helping me all the way up the straight. So 3.5 tenths faster through sector 1, comfortably round turn 2, no dramas. Okay, look for the dark patch on the road, just coming up now. Probably braked a little too soon there, there's 2 dark patches. Careful of being too aggressive on the throttle there. And these corners, like I say, lift off, dab the brakes early, 100 metres would do it, but you can go a little beyond it. That is a little slow, but I just want to get tucked into the curb. And then you can be more aggressive on the exit. Running a little bit wide there, got on the power a little too soon, but that's another 4 tenths of a second up just by taking it easy and braking a little bit earlier. Oh, ran a little bit too wide, 4th gear, get it turned in. Don't get on the power too soon. And it's as simple as that, a few simple little tips of don't brake late. So 100 metres, by braking earlier you can get off the brakes earlier and have a higher mid-corner speed. So even though I braked at the 100, I was going a little bit quicker. So I only just made the corner. Short shift to reduce any traction or loss of traction. See, I'm not pushing it into this corner, I'm letting it get into the apex, and then I can try and push it on the exit. Faster in tends to result in slower out. But you'll see there's no rush, there's no frantic braking or accelerating, it's all smooth and calm, and this is where speed comes from. I'm about neck and neck with my Ghost at the moment, I think. So now I'm going to try and brake a little bit earlier this time, so I'm carrying decent speed again. I'm braking a little earlier to try and get a better exit out to turn 2. and I have gained time. If you look in the top right corner, I'm just pulling away from my ghost, so braking a little earlier has made me go faster. Bit too deep there though. Also, if you make a mistake and you lose a little bit of time, don't try forcing to get the time back. It won't happen. Try a lower gear for a slightly quicker exit. Try and get on this apex curb. It helps pull the car around. And by being a little more smooth and cautious, I can take that corner in fifth now. Okay, so there's a couple of laps showing dramatic improvement. I'm going to go back to braking beyond the 100 metre mark. See how much time I lost there by braking a little too late. I still made the corner, but so slow, and that's now costing me all the way up this straight. So that's nearly a second I lost in one corner. And that's going to increase again here because I braked after the 100. I'm going to try braking at the bridge down here. It ain't happening. So you see, if you just brake at the wrong point, it's gone. And if there's cars in front of you when you do that, you are wiping them out. So this is a track where you don't actually benefit by pushing hard. You benefit from braking at the right points and then making minimal efforts to gain from that. So braking at the right point and then maximising your exit of a corner. How aggressive you can be on the throttle on the way out of the corner. I mean, I've lost, what, nearly 9 seconds now just from pushing. Oh no, not making the corner! So, a hell of a lot of time lost there just from trying too hard. Ran a little bit wide, but again, for anyone that is watching this, just look at how smooth I'm trying to be. Okay, I'm on a wheel, some people are on pads, but it's the same process on a pad. Try and be smooth, don't twitch your steering, because if you do, it loses your time and it adds tyre wear. And you'll notice I'm not going full throttle straight away as soon as I can. I'm making sure that the car's ready for me to go full throttle. Short shift to make sure I don't get any wheel spin. Now I'm going to try and push a little harder into this corner. And look, I'm slowing down, I'm way offline, I'm nowhere near the apex. And look how much time I'm going to lose here. I'm going to push here again. Not too bad there, but now we're going wide, we're understeered, and that's going to be more time lost. So pushing isn't benefiting. No, it doesn't really matter which car that I would be driving around this circuit. This is pretty much how I would drive it. The only difference from car to car or class to class would be minute differences of braking point. I mean, a Formula 1 car, I'd pretty much be braking at the same point, so it's just how much I would slow the car down from the braking point. Now, one other thing I will mention as well, you'll see in the bottom right corner, you've got my sector times, and this is a tip to all of the Dynamic GT League racers, but to be fair, anyone that's racing on GT Sport, once your race has started, change your details in the bottom right corner. I mean, if you're on a different view, it'll be on a different view. To the radar, I'm going to change view to show what it'll be like. So if you're on this view, there's your radar. And if you're on this view, the radar's in the middle. You can change it to whatever you want. Now, if you have it on the radar, it basically lets you know if there is a car near you. That first circle means it's close, really close. And then obviously further away is further away. By having that on, you can reduce how much contact you have with other cars dramatically. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you on this next lap is if you're in a battle, overtaking, defending. Now, I could have tried doing this against AI cars, but to be honest, too slow. But this is one of the things that I have done before. It's something I've done for a long time when it comes to practicing. Now, for anyone that watched my previous sort of practice video, you'll know that I don't do a lot of practice, and I still don't. But a very handy tip for people to do when they are practicing is, yes, learn the braking points that I have mentioned today, but also learn where to brake if you're going to be overtaking or defending. So for example, on approach to turn 1, whether you're overtaking or defending, go on the dirty side of the track and see we'll brake at the 100-meter marker board. And you'll see I can still make the corner at a slower speed in a lower gear. Yes, I've lost time, but I know I can brake at the 100-meter marker board and make the corner. I'm just going to have to go through it slower. If I try going through it at the same speed, it won't work. So same up here, brake at the 100. I've had to go down into first. I'm still going all the way to the edge of the track. So you've got to be very, very careful if you're up the inside of anybody into turn 2. So I'm basically going to approach every single corner off the racing line to see what I can do and what I can't. Braking at the same point, but braking more, going down an extra gear, still running wide though. So that shows you if you're side by side with a car and you're on the inside there, you may have to slow down more to give them room. Got to go down the extra gear, got to keep slowing the car down. I mean, okay, you can see that I'm losing a lot of time to my Ghost, but this is what's going to happen if you're off the racing line. You cannot go through the corners at maximum speed. It's just not possible. But you'll notice that I've not been going off the track. I've just had to slow down a lot more. So this is stuff to bear in mind and give it a try, because sometimes there's corners where you can't see the brake marker board. Now this time I'm going to brake a little later, and you'll see I'm way off the track, so if there was cars next to me, I'm punting them off. Right, for turn 2 I'm just going to try going around the corner in second gear this time, the gear I would normally use, braking at the 100-meter marker board, and let's see what happens. Way off track, so I would be wiping people out. So just slow down more. You can't go at the same speed. It's gonna go wide. See, you can't. You just cannot do it. Anyway, right. Now this is just, I did say this was going to be a sort of hot lap video, but it's a few hints and tips as well. I mean, how to go faster. Now I know a few of the people in DGT League that I've been giving tips to have not been able to get their head around the go slower to go faster, or braking earlier allows you to go faster. Hopefully this will have shown it to you and sort of helped you realise that I'm not talking out my arse. Right, so I'm going to go for one more hot lap if I can, giving it everything that I have got, but braking at the right points. Gonna lose time here. But yeah, but also by having the radar on approach to that corner, I would know where every car around me is, so I know where, like that ghost has appeared, I'd know if there was a car in my blind spot. Bit too hard in there. So braked fractionally too late, and look at the time I've lost. So by pushing that little bit too hard, I've lost the time. I can't get that time back now by pushing more. It won't work, I'll go slower. The only way I'll get that time back is by braking at the right points, accelerating at the right points, being nice and smooth, and hoping that I can just carry that extra little speed. Like that. That bastard driver was quick through that corner. There you go. I mean, that's a hot lap within a tenth of what I'd done previously. Now, I mean, it's not rocket science, but some of those things I've mentioned there, people just may not quite grasp it until they see it, and even when they're doing it, they might make mistakes and end up going slower, but trust me, it is so beneficial. I mean, even if you're side by side in a battle with someone, how you compose yourself around the driver will determine whether you lose time or not in that situation. Because, okay, if you're off the racing line and you're being overtaken, you're losing time, minimise how much you're losing by don't do anything stupid. But anyway, right, so I'm just going to pop the replay on for a little while. Let's see if I can put the data on the screen so that you can look at things like throttle input if you wish. Yeah, so throttle and brake input shown very nicely here. Obviously this is one of the dodgy laps. Now, as I watch some of this, I will point out some of the braking points again, just in case people do struggle. But you'll see I'm not, even when I'm braking too late, I'm not braking in a diagonal. Or even when I was on the hot laps, something that I've been telling people recently is there are some corners where people are turning in too soon and then they're having to slow down a lot to get around the corner. Whereas if they turn in a little later and apex a corner later, they can carry so much more speed through it. This is one of those corners, by the way. Now the Jaguar is quite a nice car to drive, but as I said, it wasn't going to be the car I was going to use this week, but you never know, I might end up using it. It is a very nice car to drive. But again, look at the throttle inputs and the braking inputs in between these last corners. No full brakes in the last corners. I'm not actually braking hard at all. And I'm able to get on full power quite early. Now, if I remember rightly, I'll do another dodgy braking lap. Okay, so braking marker board on the left, 100 metres. Brake too late, we go miles past the corner. Again, turn 2, it's 100 metres, but bear in mind, if you've got a lot of cars in front of you, you will have to brake earlier because of the concertina effect. So if I had 10 cars in front of me and I braked at that point, I'd be wiping them all out. But if I braked at the 100 metre marker board, there's a good chance I'd hit them as well. So if you have got a lot of cars in front of you, be prepared to brake earlier than the points I'm mentioning. It'll help you stay with the pack and go quicker. Okay, dark patch of tarmac just there is where I tend to brake for this corner. This next left-hander is a bogey corner for many. It has been one of mine. But you notice I'm not pushing or on the throttle on the way into that corner. Same here, look, I'm waiting till the car is in position before I get back on the power, because if you get on the power too soon, you're just going to run wide. Again, watch the braking input. It's only a dab. And then another dab. Just letting the car carry the speed through the corner. Okay, watch the braking here as well. So this should be a quicker lap, I think. Braking at the 100, hard on the brakes, but then I can get off them. I can feed off the brakes pretty quick to carry the speed through the corner. So turn 2, watch the braking again. We're going to brake at the 100 metre marker board there on the left. Hard on the brakes, all the way to the apex of the corner. Because I know at the 100 metre marker board, the only way to stop is full brakes. Okay, down into turn 3, the dark patch of tarmac before the bridge. It's coming up at the 100 metre marker board. But the 100 metre marker board is difficult to see with the bridge in the background. Okay, watch the throttle input into this corner. You see, I put a little bit of throttle on, came off it, had to go down the gear. I was on the throttle too soon, even though I've gained time. On the power too soon, so I've run wide. There's nothing wrong with waiting to get on the power. Sounds backwards, I know, but I've shown that it works. Little too wide there. Okay, let's see what the minimum apex speed is here. Braking at the 100, hard on the brakes, and then coming off 70 mile an hour, 69 mile an hour through the corner. Now, okay, I could go through that corner much quicker, but I'm going to go miles off the circuit. Okay, 100 metre marker board coming up on the left. Hard on the brakes. Little deep into the corner. Patient on the throttle on the way out. Now, I haven't got traction control on, so that is one of the reasons why I have to be patient. If you have got TC on, you may be able to be a little more aggressive. Okay, dark patch of tarmac. You'll see the 100 metre marker board on top left there. Hard on the brakes again, all the way pretty much to the apex, trying to feed off the brakes towards the end of the apex. Now watch the throttle control here. No throttle. Now I'm in the right place. Now I can go, still run a little bit wide, but through that corner considerably faster without actually accelerating. Dropping it to 4th gear there to get it tucked in. Much nicer through that corner, and I think this was the fastest lap that I did. So there you go. I mean, I'm trying to sort of point out here, the second fastest lap that I did, point out here how I'm using the brakes, banging them on not too hard for turn 1 compared to turn 2. So how you brake can dictate how quickly you slow the car down or how much speed you carry through a corner. You compare the braking of turn 1 to turn 2 and it's bang on the brakes fully all the way to the corner. Then it feeds off and then the throttle feeds on. Okay, look for the dark patch of tarmac. Coming up now. Hard on the brakes, feeding it off as we get closer to the apex. A little messy through that corner though. But let's see how we take this left-hander with the throttle this time. No throttle until we're halfway round the corner. Throttle, no throttle, until we know the front end is pointing in the right direction and we can get back on the power to drive us through the exit of the corners. No throttle until we're at the mid-corner. Again, no throttle till we're mid-corner. And just letting the car carry the speed through the corners. And there you go, that was actually the fastest lap. So hopefully there I've been able to show some very useful tips of how to actually go faster around this track, because I can imagine that people will really try and attack this circuit, but as I've shown there, you will go faster if you don't. The way you attack it is by being smooth, hitting your braking points, and allowing the car to work for you rather than trying to force it around the track. If you do that, you will destroy your tyres and destroy other people's races. Okay, I'm going to bring this video to an end then. It was only supposed to be sort of a hot lap video. Hopefully this has been of use to a few people. Any of the DGT League drivers are more than welcome to watch this, use it, keep it, and hopefully it'll help you go a little bit quicker. But yeah, one thing as I did say though as well, biggest tip, put your radar on for the racers. You will not believe how much better it makes your wheel-to-wheel racing, especially in the DGT League. It means that you can get close without contact, and it just makes racing so much more fun, knowing where people are when they're in your blind spots. I mean, let's face it, if I can do it in car view and not really make contact with people, then other people can do it. Because I mean, to be fair, in this car, if I try and look left and right in this car, all I see is seat. So it's not like I can look out the side of the car to see where vehicles are. I have to use the radar. It is so beneficial. Anyway, I am going to bring this live stream to an end, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure you check out the Dynamic GT League YouTube channel for their race videos. Have a good one, folks. See you later.